Alrighty, hello everybody, welcome back. Our audio levels are good. Yes, cool. Alright, so everything's fine. Let's go ahead and get into this. This is a matchup between TMG and FWC. This is a former division match for the Nexus Gaming Series. Let's go ahead and be in the right scene and go. Alright. On the left-hand side, we are going to be having Trademark Gaming. I'm going to be on the Grey Main. We'll have Show going to be on the Muradin. KG Kags is going to be on the Malthael. We will have Fire Team going to be on the Decker Kane, and we will have rounding out the team on the Medivh. I don't know why I did all those. Anyways, on the right-hand side, we are going to be having FWC Esports with McNulty going to be on the Diablo, Croven going to be on the Junkrat, Redder going to be on the Tyrande. Ooh, we're going to get some Tyrande play here. Flyest Raven going to be on that Genji, and Axon going to be on Sergeant Hammer. Let's go ahead and get into this as these two teams are going to be crashing here in the mid lane. We do have that Scouting Owl coming out from Tyrande there. It's going to be a really, really great tool, especially in these rotations as well. We've seen in HGC lately a lot of power, but apparently just going to be having these two teams playing this a little bit safe. And this match actually happened on Tuesday, so it's before we saw any of the Tyrande heavy play in the HGC. As KG Kags going to be playing in this bottom lane into Flyest Raven, but Axon also going to be getting some poke damage on top of it. Leaving the Sergeant Hammer in this bottom lane will be an interesting play coming out from these members. I'm excited to see how this works out here, as we're just going to have the rotations coming up between the mid and the top between the two teams. Honestly, Show and Fire Team are going to have a great amount of work to do, but they do have Whiskers as well. As time for some dive here, and it looks like Croven will be the first kill of the game. Going to be a very, very good pick in favor for Trademark Gaming, and rotation's just going to come right back out. We have a little bit of a play into this bottom lane as KJ Kags going to be taking a lot of damage from these two, Flyest Raven and Atkinson in this bottom lane, but potential rotation coming out from time, at least to clean up on the experience that will be lost from Malthael having to Hearth back at this point. We also do have Decker Kane setting up, so maybe they want to try and get an invade onto Axon, or they get a lockdown onto Flyest Raven. With that slow, there's going to be the root as well, but they have this Swift Strike right out of there just fine. No big deal. They'll just be able to make it out of there. As we continue just to have the rotations between these two teams, and realistically, big play here is just to see who's going to be able to get those first gem turn-ins. I mean, that's really the big thing in this situation, is who can get that first, who can really get that push. And honestly, the side of FWC Esports, they've got a really great siege potential here, but at the same time, and we do have some great brawling and some great push that can come out from Malthael, as well as the Grey Main as Axon is trying to poke at this. It's not going to work out. They still confirm the bottom siege giants, as both teams are sitting in that 20 range for gems. No turn-ins just yet. We once again have the rotations coming through. And the one thing to note also here is that Medivh is working on those Arcane Rift stacks, sitting at 13 out of the 40 necessary. But they're going to be playing safe. Whiskers doesn't really want to lose out on those stacks, because if you do die, that is all your stacks gone. GG, goodbye. And you don't want that in that situation. But we do have the stun going to be coming out, and we actually have the knockback with the concussion mine saving them as well. Looks like they'll be able to just get out of here fine. For advantage in favor for the members of Trademark Gaming, but realistically it's not going to yield them any sort of big push, because FWC Esports are going to be attaining that themselves. Realistically, Team of Spider Queen, a little bit of a slow in the start, just working on those stacks, as well as just maybe catching one or two members out of position. But after that one dive onto Croven, you can see they're playing a lot safer here, not going too far out in the lane. That's a smart play. You don't want to push yourself too far out and then end up getting picked off, as we do have Diablo doing exactly that, and that will be another kill for Trademark Gaming, as Diablo did not have enough souls to come back right away, and this early in the game it's not that big of a deal. I think we're looking at like a 14-second death timer there, so it's, you know, not going to be losing out on too much. Also, the fact is, I do think all the gems, were the gems picked up? Oh, I don't think they actually were. And I like how aggressive they're utilizing their Medivh at this point, skipping through the turn-in area just to kind of pop into the lane a little bit faster, also making sure that they're not losing out on any experience that could be taken by the keep front or the fort gate. Axon is still pushing into KJ Kags down here, and I feel like once we get into that later half, that 10 potential, we're going to be seeing a lot of strong play coming out from the Malthael, especially with those last rights, so that cooldown reduction can be huge. There's really, really no way to stop that. You've got a little bit of healing from the Tyrande, and realistically, unless maybe there's some sort of synergy with Shadowstalk and you can kind of cancel it out, I wonder. We'll see. That'll be interesting. Shadowstalk might be the tool. Then again, Starfall is really, really great for kind of siege and anti-siege. You can push in with it. It's much like Looking at like Tychus with the Draken Laser Drill a little bit. Also, the Commandeer Odin has really kind of good sieging and just kind of zoning potential as well. We just have the rotations coming out. No one really getting picked up. No one really getting killed just yet. But we do have enough of a turn-in for the members of Trademark Gaming, so they'll be looking for that quite soon. The show is just kind of anchoring for the team, making sure that no one really gets the poke in on this, and they continue to have vision on the enemies, as McNulty on that Diablo is going to be going right back up in the top lane looking for those souls, sitting at 50 out of the 100, as Flyest Draven sitting in this bush waiting for KJ Kags to step out. They know that they're low. They have the well. You have Fire Team rotating in. That Deckard Cain should be just fine because it is the old man getting that armor from a nearby friendly teammate. As KJ Kags stepped up here, the deflect coming up from Flyest Draven. Oh, that's going to be the Sapphire Gem used. They're starting to step up. The old man trying to get the damage out onto this to this ninja. It's not going to be working out as KJ Kags needs to just back off for a second. Axon is going to continue to siege down here, and that's going to be a lot of great potential for them. They're going to get a ton from all the sieging throughout this early game. It's going to yield them a decent amount of structure experience, as well as they get the availability for the turn-in, they can really push in harder with it. So it's a lot of little good things that they have on the side here, as they still have 2 members down in this bottom lane. Meanwhile, though, in top, there's a bit of a brawl starting to break out. A couple of these members, as they are going to go ahead and get the stun on McNulty. They start to turn around, getting the Shadow Charge out. No kill, though. No pick onto the Diablo just yet. Apparently just have some damage coming out, and realistically, looking for those turn-ins. That's the big play at this time. It's trying to find an opportunity for the turn-in, as well as not getting it scouted out. Looks like they do have Malthael getting the turn in here, and I think this should be the first Webweaver phase going over in favor for the members, Trademark Gaming, as it looks like they'll need to... Oh, they're actually going to prioritize bottom here? I wonder if they're going to just try and dive onto the hammer. Not what you would expect typically. Most teams would rotate hard into the top lane, but they're not showing here. Flyest Raven almost getting caught up by that. Swift Strike will allow them to get out of there. They have the portal forward. They're actually going to dive forward onto this, and this is going to be a big fight that breaks out. Redder trying to get that stun with the Lunar Flare, not going to be working, and McNulty taking so much damage. They slow them down, but they're able to get out. That Spell Shield is also proccing and giving them a lot of good value, but Tyrande will be falling instead, so that's all their support gone. As they start to siege in with this, they go ahead and dive with the portal farther into the lane. McNulty taking so much damage. Flyest Raven going to be marked as well. The protection is coming out from the deflect. They get the kill. Flyest Raven with just about 60 health will make it out just fine, but mid lane is going to be falling. Top lane looks like it will be cleared up by Kroven, as well as bottom lane will be cleared up by Axon. Gonna still get a decent amount of value there, as the portals are coming in and out, and it doesn't look like they're going to be going for another dive, but that is going to also be 10s achieved in favor for the members. Trademark Gaming, as they start to pick their heroics here, they're still holding for almost half a level. Got that Leyline Seal from the Medivh lacerates on that Malthael as expected. We also have the Avatar form from Murden, so not going to be utilizing any sort of fun Haymaker plays, but we still have Deckard Cain and Greymane holding out here, and I don't know. Okay, they're going to go for the throat and the Lornado. Really great zoning potential with the Lornado, as well as the burst that you can get after someone comes out of the Leyline Seal and you have your team set up. But overall, going to have that. We're going to have time pick up the siege camp in the bottom lane. Axon going to be pushing this out. Now, they need to defend the turn-ins more so on the side of Trademark Gaming because they don't have the available turn-in, but stepping up to Flyest Raven, neither of them dismounting each other. Kind of looking for the angles here, as Show is getting caught out. They still have all their tools, so they'll be able to just kind of walk out of here no problem. Just standing on the... I was throughout the concussion mine, just stood there. I'm like, well, you just trying to make sure that they burn the cooldown. That will be Murden finishing the baseline questing talent as well. So gonna have those that piercing on the Stormbolt, and then this looks like they do have enough for another turn-in. They have the potential turn-in with that Genji and a couple teammates down here, but Time going to be trying to stall that out, as it looks like they'll be able to finish this out in the top. They don't get this in. That is going to be back-to-back Webweavers in favor for the members of Trademark Gaming, as FWC Esports needs to look for an angle here to try and burn this down quickly. Medivh actually getting onto Flyest Raven, going to portal forward, looking for the angle onto Genji. The stacks have been finished, by the way, too. That's the big thing to note. The stacks are already done for Medivh, so they don't need to worry about potentially getting killed and losing those out. That's been done. So at this point, they can really play super aggressive. And that's why we're seeing a lot of more of these portals forward and portaling into the enemy team and trying to get some big burst and dive onto them, as it looks like that's going to be the case. They're looking for Kroven there. Not going to be happening. They go ahead, they back off. They're going to go and work with their Web Weaver and push into this top lane. As it looks like mid is starting to get assaulted. Show going to have to go ahead and pop at the avatar form. Just going to try and get some static healing off as well. And Redder is still getting that poke damage out, trying to get the Stormbolt. Not going to be connecting, as Axon is going to be sitting up in this little area as we have Whiskers with the Leyline Seal, but the thing is they have the gate on the other side of this. They'll be able to do a ton as the Unstoppable was popped as well. Lightning Breath coming out from the Diablo. Show's going to hop over the wall with that Dwarf Toss. Whiskers in a bit of a bad spot, and I think this is going to be the Medivh falling at this time, and that is going to be a 1-for-1 trade at this time as they do lose their Diablo on the side of FWC Esports. Meanwhile, though, bottom lane has been cleared out by Genji. Mid lane didn't really get a ton of value here, and top lane is still pushing in. Axon with that Sergeant Hammer and also that Napalm Strike is really, really powerful. They need to get one of these last right targets off, as they do have, they do have one stack on it. That went out to the Diablo. I did miss that. They will have at least one, and they're going to be working their way for a few more cooldown reductions. But meanwhile, Flyas Raven collecting as many gems as possible. They're sitting at 91 gems. They haven't even gotten their first turn in, as the Owl scouts out boss, making sure they're not just going for that rotation there. But Flyas Raven needs to find the turn in. Are they going for it? No. I think they're just going to play this safe. They just get the agility over the wall. They don't want to get caught out here. It's 13-12. Bit of an advantage in favor for the members of Trademark Gaming. We'll see if FWC Sports can kind of turn this around when it comes to the Web Weaver turn-in phase. That's the big thing here. Can they answer at least with one Web Weaver, try and get some push in at this time? Not really seeing a big difference between the experience levels, but it's really just trying to get this turn in and start getting that siege. Like, that's the big play that they need on the side of FWC Sports. As they continue to get interrupted here, mid lane's going to be cleared out fairly quickly. And we actually have a portal going out. They're going to be looking for the dive here. McNulty not in a really good spot. They actually have the Lornado to push them back into the enemy team. Extract going to be coming out from Flyas Raven. That will be the last rights onto McNulty. They get the kill, so that will be the cooldown reduction for them in this situation. And they actually have Show so low. The Leyline Seal goes out. It actually connects onto the Tyrande in the way back line. Flyas Ravens use a lot of their mobility as well. Portal going out. They're looking for these 36 gems. If they can get these, if they can get this kill, that's going to be huge for them. All the agility, all the abilities are coming out. KJ Kags, though, looking for this. They got the mark onto them. They at least have vision on them for now, but the thing is they're running into the enemy territory, and I don't think that there's going to be anything they can do as they go ahead and they get the storm. They get Stormbolt won't connect, but they go ahead and they get the kill, and that's a lot of the economy of the members of FWC Esports. They lose 30 gems there, but they still get the turn in. So I think it's a kind of 1-for-1 trade, at least for them. They lost a bit there. They also lost their Genji. They're not going to have a ton of push in the situation. The lanes have been pushed up into them quite a bit. I think at this point it just kind of gives them that buffer, a little bit of a pause here, allows them to kind of maybe adjust themselves on the map, maybe push up and try and look for a kill, or at least just even up the experience, because overall between the two teams, not a big difference in experience, not a big disparity, but the thing is structurally just really what's starting to kind of run away on the side of Trademark Gaming. We'll see. McNulty actually getting the stun on to Show. They actually don't have the follow-up. The Riptire is going to be coming out as well from the Junkrat, looking for the damage on the Show, but maybe they go for the old man. You just go ahead and try and get some damage out at this time as they'll push into middle. Nope. They're going to look at bottom lane. Maybe go for KJ Kags. McNulty taking an aggressive rotation here. The Unstoppable is used. The Shadow Charge is there. They don't get it. That will also be the Lightning Breath for the slow. They go ahead and get the portal right out of there, and the Web Weaver phase has ended. But the thing is, there's some decent siege in this bottom lane. Leyline Seal coming out, catching the side of Sergeant Hammer. They're all sieged up and ready to go. Flyas Raven a little far forward, as it looks like KJ Kags is going to be trying to get some damage onto them. They have that a Swift Strike right out of there. Show taking so much damage, but they find the Tyrande in the situation. That is going to be the Lornado coming out, and Show just running right inside of it. Last rights are going to go on to Flyas Raven, but they don't get the kill. That doesn't give them the cooldown reduction, and they end up getting... Nope, they don't. Medivh ended up getting just that little bit of damage there that they needed, and McNulty going to get rooted at this time and dove upon. That will be not the insta revive, so a 4 from none trade, and I wouldn't be too surprised if this was a hard rotation for boss. They only need 10 more gems on the side of Trademark Gaming, so they can boss, get the lane right here, and then pretty much get the turn in. That's going to be... Yeah, that's their lane right there. If they can just get all the gems from that, they'll be perfect, as they will go ahead and grab this boss. They'll have this pressure into the top lane. It's been fairly... I'd say it's like 50% damage overall. It's not going to get crazy value on its own, but at the same time, with Web Weavers back to back, that will be huge. As Show is looking to get the wave clear into this. They need to go ahead and pick this up quickly. They want to make sure that they don't get invaded on either, and that will be the boss picked up. Rotate right back down. This is going to be also a siege camp in bottom lane that was picked up right before this, so they have that value there. That's going to be enough for the turn-in. They just need to turn around and go for this, but it looks like they want to try and take a kill on top of it. That will be the concussion mine out of there. They back off and say, yep, that's the smart play. Let's go ahead and get our turn-in here. And that will be Web Weavers descending in top, mid, and bottom. And the bottom lane is going to be really is going to be sieged really hard in this situation, as boss should be just kind of weakening the front gate of this keep. I don't think they're going to go much beyond that, but we will have the Web Weavers descend fairly far up the lanes in this situation. And we'll finish this out with the last 17 gems. Well, 15, but let's see here. Bruiser Camp is going to be picked up by the members of Trademark Gaming. FWC Esports has a lot of pressure onto their lanes. This is really the tight play. It's 17 to 15. They need to find some sort of just pick. Maybe someone steps a little too far forward. They can get the lockdown with a combo from McNulty and Redder, but I don't know if that's going to be the case here. Web Weavers have started down the lanes. Genji looking for a flank. Flystraven trying to find the entrance here. Lightning Breath comes out from the Diablo. We are going to be going ahead and having the Lornado as well. X-Strike going to be coming out onto Decker Kane, but it's not going to be enough as they just continue to heal themselves up. Flystraven gets dove on by the Greymane with that go for the throat, and they try and look for more as time is taking so much damage. Protection status coming out from Medivh right in time, and Redder and McNulty have zoned them away efficiently, but it looks like this keep could potentially be falling as they make another round for another siege into this, and Axon maybe need to back off. Show taking a lot of damage, going to go ahead, get the Dwarf Toss out. They don't lose the mid lane keep, but the thing is, bottom lane is really pushed up as they also try and take some aggressive movements into this, as Whisker's going to get knocked away with that concussion mine. They're trying to find the angle onto one of these members, and they have found Sergeant Hammer, but the Unstoppable is used, able to boost right out of there just fine, but McNulty's kind of left on an island by themselves. That will be Tornado coming out, actually pushing them in. That Shadow Charge kind of pulled them right back in there, as it looks like the Lacerates goes out, and they will confirm the kill onto the Diablo at this time. Redder is going to be dove on as well. Another pick, and that is going to be Diablo back, because they did have the souls, but they're going to be very weak. Portal takes them right out of here. Genji, though, looking for the kill. No deflect used. Show trying to find the stun onto Flystraven, but they need to back out in this situation. Neither team has enough for a Web Weaver turn-in phase here, but the thing is, top lane pushed itself so far that it actually got that as well. So mid lane is the only lane with a keep still, as it looks like Genji is actually going to be falling here. I didn't even catch that, and they start pushing harder. They don't have their Tyrande still. They just lost their Genji. Diablo's extremely weak, and you can see them shredding through McNulty as they get the Shadows Charge out, trying to find the angle to that. But the thing is, Diablo will get picked up before they get into the Nexus. Looks like Axon is going to be trying to find it way back in here, and they will be in as well, and that will be zoning from the Tyrande with the Starfall. But the thing is, with 2 dead, I don't know if they can defend this. At the same time, though, they're kind of weak on the side of Trademark Gaming, so it looks like they're going to want to back off. Maybe play this a little bit slower, but nope. Once again, they go right onto Redder, and they're trying to find that heal. Greymane also finishing the Hunter's Wonder Bliss, I believe, yeah. And that is going to be the dive under Redder. Still no kill. Show, though, just getting aggressive here. That is the extract from Flystraven. Time going to get picked off here. Show going to get picked off as well. This is not the situation you want to be in, as the core is actually at 55%. They start to make their way out of this, and they get the slow as well as the root. The Lornado, just they're dumping everything they can to make this disengage, but they want to chase this. Whiskers is going to take a lot of damage here. Will they be able to get the kill? Concussion Mine will go out. They don't actually get the knockback, and they're starting to chase this even further. Concussion Mine just to run and chase them. This is the longest chase. As the Lacerates goes out onto the Junkrat, they turn this around. Cleanse goes out onto Malthael. They actually get the Genji here. They get the Malthael in return, but Malthael has returned. Malthael buys back right in, comes right back into this game. We already have top lane pressure from Catapults and mounting, as well as bottom lane. Redder is just trying to get the kill onto Whiskers here, but it's not working as the protection is just too good. Also, the healing from Fire Team with those bottomless flasks is just never ending, and you can see them continuing just to survive and sustain through this as they are trying to push this back. But meanwhile, top lane is going to be getting pushed in quite a bit here. Oh, the longest chase on Earth. Dear Lord. Alright, Owl going to be coming out from Tyrande. No available turn-in for the members of Trademark Gaming, but 3 gems on the side. Actually, all the gems have been secured. They could get a turn-in on the side of FWC Esports. That's the big thing here. But once again, we're going to see Malthael rotating into this bottom. Going to go ahead and try and get some added pressure. Toronto going to get the owl just to try and scout this out. Maybe going a little bit wide, but they may be looking at their own mid lane bruisers, as there is catapult pressure in all 3 lanes. They're trying just to make sure that this doesn't get too bad. Go ahead and just clear this out. Top lane will be fine. Mid lane is going to be aggressed a little bit by Show, but they just get that dwarf toss out. They want to chase this a little bit as Flyest Raven trying to get some decent damage out onto the Muradin, but it's not going to be working out as they go ahead and rotate for the boss on the side of Trademark Gaming. They have to know this. Show just kind of interrupting them and just playing around. It's also denying them the potential for the tournament. That also means that the mid lane can push up as well as the bottom lane, and then they can just go ahead and get this free boss, which I don't think they have scouted out because they're so busy trying to get on Show, or at least they've just interrupted them so much. They have these piercing stormbolts, which are just such a nuisance, as well as Flyest Raven will be getting the X strike. Will it? It denies it. They deny the last rights from the Malthael, but Flyest Raven still in a bad spot. Self-cleanse from the Malthael for the chase onto this. They are gonna try and get that kill. We'll see if we can poke back and see that chase. Actually, they make the disengage. Oh, are they going right back in for this? This is really risky for Flyest Raven, as they do lose the Diablo here on the side of FWC Esports. Medivh gets the chase onto Genji with the portal, and that is going to be 2 members falling here. No available souls for that Diablo, as they are only sitting at 67 stacks. And this will be so much pressure onto the core. That is going to be game number 1 going over to the members of Trademark Gaming. GG. Well played. Alrighty. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Alright, that was game number 1. Let's go ahead and download game number 2. Also see what side everyone is going to be on to. Alrighty. Oh. Okay. Oh, that's an interesting game number 2. Go ahead and we're going to download that really quickly. Right. That's good. Gotta do one thing right before. At least the teams didn't swap sides on this. Well, let's go ahead. We'll just swap over and I'll just do it as we're... Cool. All right. Let's go ahead and get into this game number 2 here between these 2 teams. On the left-hand side, we are going to be having Trademark Gaming up 1 game, with Time going to be on the Phoenix. KJ Kags will be on the Urel. Show going to be on the Stitches. Whisker's going to be on the Tychus, and Fire Team going to be on the Malfurion. And then on the right-hand side, we are going to be having FWC Esports trying to even out the score here, as Accent will be on the Ghoulish Daniel. We'll have Flyest Raven going to be on that Malthael. Redder going to be on the White Mane. McNulty going to be on the Muradin, and Croven going to be playing the Cassia. Let's go ahead and get into this, as Braxis holdout has changed a little bit here. Definitely do see a different playstyle emerging from these teams. You can no longer kind of get 100% Zerg wave and then deny the enemy team their Zerg wave and just push hard. You have to really realistically play around the map a little bit more. Look at your own lanes. As actually we have a bit of a bad spot for Time here as they get the warp out, but that means that KJ Kags will be potentially putting themselves out of position, but they actually make it out of here just fine. No death just yet, but that was a strong play from FWC Esports, and actually changing up the laning options here too. This is interesting. Doing a 2-3. They're just going to leave their White Mane with... Okay, no. Is it just roaming Muradin? Because I was going to say, they've got some decent sustain between the 2 members in top, as Time is going to be attacked here by a couple of members. They still have that blink out. Shielding will start to fall. They start to get some damage out on the Time here in a bit of a bad spot. Should have the warp just fine as the Righteous Hammer comes out from KJ Kags. Looking at Flyest Raven here, taking a lot of damage. They do have that Arsenal synergy, so look for that big burst of damage coming out as they swap between the... phase cannon and the... Oh, Time is aggressive here, and with 60 odd health, they're able to get that first pick. Repeater cannon and phase bomb. There we go. Couldn't remember it off the top of my head. But that will be the first kill of the game, going over in favor for Trademark Gaming as the hook, and the root come out, and that is going to be a living Cassia because of the ability for her baseline trait is, you know, having the shielding while, or excuse me, damage mitigation while you're stutter stepping. There we go. I just couldn't think of all the terms there. But that, as well as the blinds coming out from Cassia, will be big. Gul'dan also being able to dump out some damage. We'll see here as if, you know, we'll see if they're able to catch one of the members in a bad spot. As time is also rotated into this bottom lane. Whitemane going to get some decent damage out. Krovan going to get that dive, but just the shielding going to be falling on that Phoenix as McNulty has taken an aggressive rotation onto time here. A lot of damage is going to be going out. But Cassia going to get the dive, and that will be the first kill for FWC Esports in this game. As Show's going to get damaged here. Hook going to be coming out, not going to be connecting, and that will be charge in favor for FWC Esports, and they're going to start this beacon phase out very, very strong. 1 for 1 in kills. As Flyest Raven is going to be collecting those regen globes. KJ Kags just making sure they can't play too hard into them. And that was the one thing that I've noticed and I've seen a lot of teams do is often taking the Malthael into the Yrel. Seems to be a fairly strong matchup in that lane. Definitely. Ooh, actually, we have an invade from Time as well into this, and Flyest Raven in a bit of a bad spot. They're going to try and sustain through this, but I don't think it's going to work out. They're trying to make the out, and I don't think it's going to happen as the mobility between KJ Kags and Time is going to be a bit too much, and that will be a kill in favor for them. As in bottom lane, McNulty and Show are having a bit of a brawl, and the numbers are going to be just tapping well and coming right back into this. Hook not go out. Ooh, the hook, it seems like a lot of the hooks, if they do connect, they have that decent burst, but we'll have to see if they're able to confirm a kill with Whitemane being able to heal through a lot of that damage. But we'll see. Charge going over in favor for the members of Trademark Gaming as they... Nope. I was like, is there going to be a Stormbolt to cancel out the blink? And it doesn't look like it's going to be happening. But they continue to hold over the top lane, which actually is going to be getting contested. We have a bit of a brawl between these two members, actually these 4 members. They don't want to leave this point. They give over the top lane. It does have the channel in favor for FWC Esports, as McNulty is just sitting in this bush waiting for the chance to dive in a little bit here. They get the... Stormbolt? Okay, there we go. All right, cool. We're fine. Hook going to be going on to Accent at this time, though. They're trying to heal through this. Whitemane is trying to do as much as they can, but they go ahead and pop the Gul'dan. That is going to be a kill in their favor. They do have this... Raven that needs to get cleared out. It's going to be doing a decent amount of damage. McNulty setting up for a potential flank in this situation. Looking at Fire Team, not going to be getting a ton of damage out onto them, but Whitemane going to get the healing just fine. They go ahead and get the root. Ooh, the root doesn't connect as the Dwarf is perfectly timed, and I wouldn't be too surprised to see the upgrade at level 16, if I'm not mistaken, for the increased range on Dwarf Toss, just to make sure that they're disengaging from that further. But we'll see, as they currently have the charge in their favor on the side of Trademark Gaming. Show taking a bit of damage, going to get healed up by Fire Team. Whiskers is taking a bit of damage from the Inquisition. Hook goes out, but it doesn't connect onto Krovan, which was the target. They're getting that healing right back up, as Axon will go ahead and continue to stack up those corruption stacks, sitting at 20 out of the 40 necessary. Stormbolt goes out on a Show. Not going to be in a good spot. They get the healing out from Fire Team, and they're not the target in this situation, as McNulty is looking for that kill onto Show. Not going to be happening, as Whiskers is starting to chunk them down quite a bit. That is going to be a decent amount of damage going out. They get the hook onto McNulty, and that is going to be the Murden falling, but they trade stitches for it. 1 for 1 trade, tank for tank. 7s, though, going to be achieved first for the members of Trademark Gaming, as it looks like they'll go ahead and grab this siege camp for the top, or this bruiser camp for the top lane. KJ Kags will go ahead and grab the beacon here, make sure that the charge doesn't go over anymore, and it's currently sitting at 34 to 26. You're going to siege into this bottom lane a little bit, but both the tanks are back at this time. Also allowed Malfurion to go back and get a little bit more mana and get themselves prepared for this, as they actually have an invade here. Flyest Raven a bit low. It's 2v3, and Flyest Raven so low. Do they go for it? AJ Kags gets picked off, and that's a bad spot for Time to be in. They get the blink out. Are they able to dive out further and continue this? No, they back right out of there. McNulty will get the charge onto top lane, but bottom lane has been converted over in favor for the members of Trademark Gaming, sitting at 34 to 26 still, and they will clear out the siege camp, pushing into the top lane. Looks like we might have a setup for an Entangled Roots, as we are seeing the pings here in this replay. Waiting for it, just some sort of setup on this. Whiskers actually in the back line, trying to get some damage on the Accent, and McNulty taking a lot of damage. Redder is trying to get the... Oh, the cleanse was so perfectly timed. If it would have hit with that Huck. We're looking at... I was looking at Whiskers. We're going to get a grenade over the wall to maybe pick off McNulty. They will go also ahead and get the baseline third wind going off in Time, taking a lot of damage. Going to get that blink right out of there. Show going to get the hook onto Krovan. Phoenix falls here because of that. They actually didn't turn around and kill Cassia quick enough, so it's a 1 for 1 trade. Red are going to get the healing right back onto Axon, as they also heal up through these minions, and also just draining the health from heroes as well, as they want to try and get more channel onto this. But meanwhile, top lane, they will have this over. KJ Kags and Flyest Raven going to go back and forth in that lane, and McNulty trying to step up onto the point with friendly members. They do have their Phoenix coming back and their Cassia as well on the other side, so it's going to be even soon. Knockback from the concussion mine will stop the Inquisition. And looks like they're winning this over a bit here, as Whiskers is getting a bunch of damage out of the McNulty. The hook goes out as well. The root's going to be there. They get the knockback. Healing is reduced, but the thing is they continue to sustain through this. Whitemane just doing everything just to keep her teammates alive and doing a phenomenal job of it. And looking for some sort of setup here, as it's top lane in favor for Trademark Gaming and bottom lane is in favor for the members of FWC Esports. And I like that trust into... Excuse me, I missed that. Time will go ahead and step up here as well and get the pick onto Malthael, so they still hold over top lane. And with that, I wouldn't be too surprised to see them maybe make a hard rotation into bottom, look for a pick, and that was so close. They want to also get the charge onto this beacon phase. Murden in this top lane, they know that they don't have a tank for bottom, and they can play this a little aggressive, as Krovan has stepped up quite a bit here. I don't know if... Ooh, that's going to be the Future Bile coming out from the Stitches at this time. They're looking to slow them down. The hook goes out, they pull them right back in. Cassia going to be falling. That is going to be the... Planet Cracker coming out. Maybe they're taking a little bit more damage. Top lane, though, will be having Malthael back at this time, so they need to back off of this. And this is just going to be a back and forth trade between these two teams for the time being, as they're still waiting for that first beacon phase to go through. We're 42 to 26. It'll get a little bit more charge for a split second there, as time has stepped up onto Flyest Raven, and I think they're going to be able to confirm this kill. No last rites will really do too much here. I wonder if they burn it. Yeah, trying to get the absorption goes off, and that is going to be the Malthael falling in the top lane. As bottom lane, we had Tychus falling to Murden, so playing a little aggressive there. Must have found their way into that back lane, getting that pick, but at this time, McNulty... looking for that chase onto Fireteam, at least zoning them away from their friendly member, and that's going to push up this minion wave a little bit more. Meanwhile, top lane, though, Krovan going to be in a bad spot, looking for the pick onto time, not going to be happening. And there's going to be a Malthael coming back, but death timers are starting to get longer and longer here, and this is really not the situation you want to be in on the side of FWC Esports, especially if they can start to open up the lane against you and pressure that lane, and also be, it makes it harder to actually sustain that fight if you can't have a safe area to run away to. Did we just hear a Haymaker go out, but nothing? I didn't see the animation, or did I completely miss it? Well, that is going to be a Haymaker coming out. We also have the Scarlet Aegis. Yes. From the Whitemane, we also have the Valkyrie from the Cassia, so looking for those single target picks, as well as the Lacerates we saw come out, and the Horrify from the Gul'dan. It's going to have great boss control, but we have that Planet Cracker, and that's often something we see on a map like this because of the fact that it has really, really good Zerg clears. Flyest Raven is in a bad spot, looking for the kill. They actually get the pick from time onto them. McNulty in a bit of a rough shape. Going to go ahead and get the healing from Redder in this situation, and they make the disengage with only losing their Malthael, but that will be top lane converted. But at the same time, Cassia sitting on this bottom will convert this back over, and that is going to be the siege camp needing to be cleared out. But they take an aggressive rotation on the side of Trademark Gaming. Exxon just going to get some damage out as well. I do want to note some of the questing talents. Stitch is sitting at... Ooh, actually, Hook going to be going out. That will also be the Root going out on top of that, and that is a dead Cassia. A lot of damage coming out, and I do... Nope, they didn't use the Horrify. I was like, did I see the Horrify? No, it was more corruption coming out from that Gul'dan, just trying to maybe get a burst in. Turn that fight around in their favor. Didn't work out for them, as they actually catch McNulty here, as the Dwarf Toss coming out just fine, but they start to chase this here. A little bit of a slow coming out from that Holy Avenger. Flyest Raven looking for the pick, and at this point, the two worst people to put a last rites targets on are currently fighting them in the top lane. The absorption coming out from the... I guess if they do time it out, if they do know how to, count the cooldown, they should be able to be like, all right, well, absorption's down, let's go ahead and use last rites. Or Blink's off, or Blink is on cooldown, let's use it then. But McNulty maybe has the Dwarf Toss out of here. Flyest Raven, they actually will utilize the Haymaker to back off, and actually the Righteous Hammer pushing Flyest Raven away. McNulty getting the Hearth out at this time, but that will be charged in favor for the members of Trademark Gaming, and I think they should confirm with this the first Zerg wave, but there's still 28% they need to deal with. That will be the Valkyrie coming out, the Scarlet Aegis as well. They're trying to get the damage on the fire team. That will be the friendly Hook. but they're actually trying to pull them maybe back in for the healing onto themselves as the Horrify comes out as well. Show in a bit of a rough shape. Should be able to make it out potentially as Flyest Raven is trying to get those last rights. The healing comes out, and that will not confirm the kill, as it looks like they have time getting the blink out in the top part of this fight, as so many members are so low. They're getting the healing coming out from Redder, but they dive in with KJ Kags. The Planet Cracker comes out, doesn't confirm the kill just yet, but it puts these two on an island away from each other, and they split the healing, and so many members need to back out. But Kroven's so low, as well as Redder, they need to either back off or get just healing from the well as they look for the angle with the stitches. Oh, Show trying to find that. Not going to be connecting it just right there, as that will be Zerg Wave in top lane for the members of FWC Esports, and this is still decent enough where you do need to defend this. I wonder if they send... They don't have the Planet Cracker for another 70 seconds because they used it in their last fight. At this point, I think they're just going to let Urel clear this out, but they're going to siege very hard in bottom lane. You can see this hook going to be going on to Flyest Raven. That will also be the root underneath it. The Valkyrie comes out from the Cassie at this time. Show so low, just using the Putrid Bile as they have it. Kroven getting slowed here. They try and get the pick, but that is also going to be so much healing coming out from the Sally Whitemane. They get 2 kills, but then they end up turning around and getting the Malthael pick here, and it looks like they're going to need to back off at some point. So many members are so low. They want to maybe try and find something here. They also use the Tranquility to just try and keep themselves alive. Kroven, once again, low. That is going to be the Horrify coming out as well. They need to try and get out of here, as that is time getting the blink out. Muradin still looking for the angle. Going to get the Haymaker, and actually pushes them closer to Fire Team. And I think they're able to disengage from this, but that was a great play on the side of FWC Esports to turn that around and get a couple kills for themselves, evening out the experience as best they can, though they're looking for time once again. The blink comes out. So much poison damage coming out from Atkinson with that corruption. That damage over time is huge. The lane's kind of reset at this time. Still need to clear out this top lane. Urel finishes it out. It really doesn't get any value. It stays right in that first portion of the gate as McNulty is moving up once again, trying to get onto Fire Team and maybe getting a bit of a B step out there. And we actually have... No, it looks like they're just trying to find their way back, as they do need to pick up some mana for themselves. Top lane, though, getting assailed by these Rangers, but I think it's going to get cleared out fine. They're not going to be losing that over for free. AJ Kags in time going to be picking up the Bruiser camp and moving that into the top lane. That should confirm the fort, and actually... Another wave going to be crashing. I wonder if they actually get this from the natural push, but they actually find the stitches in this bottom lane with those last rights currently sitting only on 1 stack for the last right for the cooldown reduction, but still that big burst of damage and that just 5 seconds off is still a huge thing for these teams. They go ahead and they also steal away the siege camp for this bottom lane. Now they're going to be rotating up into this top just to get the clear onto this. Looks like they want to take this bottom lane fort. This will be the next lane for their potential Zerg wave, as McNulty gets the Haymaker out onto KJ Kags, looking just to separate them from the team. But Whiskers and Fire Team trying to do their best just to poke at this, and they have rotated in. They don't have their stitches still, not for another 5 seconds. They have the root going out onto a couple members. Cassie going to be diving. They actually get the pick onto the Malfurion. That is huge for them. That is also the Scarlet Aegis, I do believe, coming out, and they just... This armor and everything will be fine for them. They're trying to disengage from this, and they could chase this a little bit. McNulty knows this. They want to get that Stormbolt out. Not going to connect here. And they push this up a little bit more in the bottom lane. Meanwhile, top lane's kind of just been reset to mid. They also will rotate over here, grab their camp. And just, I gotta say, the healing between these two. Malfurion killing it with 71,000 healing, but Whitemane only down by 100,000, and it really, you can't tell. Like, I honestly I pulled up the stats and I was like, I wonder if she's ahead, because the healing that's coming out from Redder is so strong. It's a 13-10 kill. It's a 13-10 kill game, and this is just ridiculous. They also have that slow on the slam. The self cleanse comes out, but it won't be enough, and Malthael falls here. That's a great pick for the members of FWC, or excuse me, Trademark Gaming. Now they move on to this boss, and I think because they lost their Malthael and they know they can't take it, they do have the Horrify available from Atkinson. And I wonder if they try and maybe steal this away. McNulty going to be setting up here. They also have Haymaker on top of that. I wonder if they just try and get one member out of position here. They also go ahead and use the Valkyrie to pull someone out. That is going to be KJ Kags in a bit of a bad spot. The Horrify does come out as well. Tychus does fall here. The Planet Cracker goes out. They are just doing so much damage. They steal away. They take away this boss. On the side of Trademark Gaming, they get the Righteous Hammer out as well. They're trying to get some damage on the KJ Kags, but that will be the Tranquility coming out, able to heal up the team just fine. Hook goes out, but it doesn't connect as boss pushes into bottom lane here. They do have this Bruiser camp pushing over here that will need to be cleared out, but the beacons have started, and with the amount of work that they need to do on the side of FWC Esports, this could be They'll go out. They go ahead and they pick up White Mane. There's no follow-up route. They have the slow slam. Fly's Raven stepping up as well, showing a bit of a bad spot. Righteous Hammer will get that knockback. They actually have the Future Bile out as well just to slow the chase here. McNulty looking for more of a chase and a kill, but taking quite a bit of damage themselves. They don't have the angle for a kill just yet, as Redder will get that healing right back up onto them. Fly's Raven a little far forward here. I was about to say they should have a hook up. That will be the route coming out as well. Valkyrie going to connect and actually not get anyone. Gul'dan will be falling in the situation as McNulty has gone away just to get that healing. The last rites goes out onto Stitches, getting another stack for Malthea here. But the thing is, I think they might be falling in the situation to Whiskers with the minigun. But the thing is, Whiskers, I think, is then going to be falling as, oh my god, Fire Team. If they can keep them alive, that'll be huge. They don't. And that is going to be the Tychus falling, and a 2-for-2 trade. McNulty going ahead and just rotating back just to get some self-healing, but they pick up the Cassia. Do they find the White Mane? She's very low on mana. I don't think she's going to be able to heal through this much more, and they pick up that member as well. McNulty going to be falling as well. Red team will be dominated, and they only had bottom lane held over, so this is going to be an easy rotation. They'll be able to pick this up, and this should be the Zerg wave in favor for the members of Trademark Gaming. Now, Gul'dan can rush top. It's a bit risky. Especially with Cassia, or excuse me, with Yrel going ahead and rotating up here, maybe going to be sitting in this bush over here looking for the pick, but Gul'dan is just going to be playing it safe by the gate. They know that they can't take this. This will be the full charge for the members of Trademark Gaming. Or do they go for this? Ooh, okay, Fly's Raven going for the point. They just have to stick on the point. That's the thing, too. That's going to be Zerg wave top lane. So they prepped the lane as much as they could before. They also do have Planet Cracker going to be coming out. You will see, this is like the, you got to get the right angle, but still, they took out all that small Zerg. They'll have this camp, and that should be doing a decent amount. And they also have Fly's Raven coming down here to try and push this up. But that is the Malthea out of lane, and they have a lot of value in this top. They realistically didn't lose too much of, like the Banelings, those are huge for your Zerg push. That kind of burst onto the keep front gate, that's big for your team. As it looks like we actually have the Righteous Hammer going out onto McNulty trying to find an angle there, but it won't be. They'll be interrupted as they also get the Dwarf Toss right out of there. They take out the sidewall. They're looking for the hook onto Redder. The root goes out and actually goes onto Malthea, who blinked a little too far forward. They actually get the kill onto Malthea. Horrify comes out from the Gul'dan. They start to chase this up. McNulty with the Haymaker, getting the Fire Team so far separated, but they will be falling as well. But the Goomba coming out from Yrel. KJ Kags looking to stomp on a member. That will be Krovan getting followed up as well. No root coming out because there's no Malfurion. The absorption comes out from Yrel. They're taking a lot of damage that bursts them right back up to almost full, and it looks like this will be the top lane keep falling in favor for the members of Trademark Gaming. Question is, do they try and push harder, or do they back off? Two members have fallen on the side of FWC Esports, and yeah, they make the disengage. They're like, all right, we don't want to fight this anymore. Meanwhile, bottom lane, there's that Guardian doing a decent amount of work here, so they need to clear this out fairly quickly, but I gotta say, that was a great push for the members of Trademark Gaming, getting that keep and only losing the one member in that situation. That Haymaker coming out from McNulty, that repositioning was so strong. Also, just to have that follow-up damage was just big for them. Now we'll have to see what they're able to do in this situation. 20s have been achieved on the side of Trademark Gaming, and FWC Esports needs to find some sort of entry to open up this map a little bit more. The next Zerg wave for them will be pushing into top, so maybe they try and pressure that a little bit harder, as well as maybe try and open up the lane a little bit more for themselves. But at the same time, we're going to need to consider that there's catapult pressure as well as this camp pressure now on top. They do have the siege camp to kind of help push into that, but I don't know. Boss is checked from KJ Kags, making same with McNulty, making sure neither team is going for it. Malthea will go ahead and work on this top lane, making sure that the catapult pressure does not amount to too much. And with the Malthea seen in top lane, I wonder if they're going to go for this, or if they're just trying to chase McNulty out and just anchor for the team. I think that seems to be the case in this situation, as they go ahead and get the clear of themselves, and these lanes are just going to be reset by these teams as they're just looking for the setup before this next beacon phase. As I'm in KJ Kegs, maybe poking out on a couple members here, playing a little aggressive, but they get that clear into mid and into the bottom. Top lane still pushes up, gets cleared out. And now it's just the waiting game. 20-19. They're playing this slow on the side of, the blind hook, the root as well. I don't know if they're able to. Wow. Just the blind hook into that bush just to, with that, they're just like, boss. That was a huge play from Trademark Gaming. Holy crap. What a great pickup here, as it looks like this will be Boss pushing into the bottom lane. They also have a camp that they can grab, and their own Zerg wave will be pushing into bottom lane as well. Show getting some of those blind hooks out as well, making sure no one's sitting in those bushes for any sort of invade with the Horrify. But they go ahead, they pick up Boss. This will be the beacons activating in the next 17 seconds. I wouldn't be too surprised to see a priority into the siege camp, just to also have the armor reduction. That's exactly what Time is going to be doing, as the rest of the team pushes up bottom lane to try and get a little bit more value with this Boss. Show, are they going to go for a hook? Now Furion is going to rotate back, going to be looking for that beacon. Urel's playing around in top lane with Flyest Raven. I think they're going to go ahead and try and get the channel here and just get as much value from this as possible, as this is going to be the beacon phase charging in favor for them. Top lane, though, we have Flyest Raven going into KJ Kags, trying to do this, but the thing is, Time has shown up at this time, and that will be Malthea falling. They try and get the juke, but it's not going to be enough, and that is a pick in the top lane. That will be the Zerg continuing. Zerg wave continuing up. Malthea has bought back in. The Valkyrie comes out, as well as Scarlet Aegis, and there's going to be the Haymaker. Whiskers just running over towards the boss because the keep has already fallen. The last rites goes out. That will be the death onto Tychus, but they get the hook onto Flyest Raven. The Unstoppable is used. They get the Malthea bought right back in too, and they're able to stay alive for now. Healing comes out as well. They're trying to get some damage onto Fire Team. It's not working out for them. KJ Kags taking a bit of damage. Flyest Raven trying to get that heal off of them. The absorption comes out from Urel. They're getting... Oh my god, the hook just to pull them in. Krovan is in a bit of a bad spot. They dive in onto KJ Kags, but they finish off the Cassia. That also will be the Zerg wave finishing in favor for the members of Trademark Gaming. They lose 2, but they have 100% Zerg wave with a keepless bottom. This could potentially be game ending, as Time has stepped up onto Axon, trying to get that self-heal off of them as well, but the shielding might be a bit too much. The hook goes out to pull Redder right back into this. They want to get some more kills on top of this, and they find... Do they have the slam? That's the big thing. If Stitches can just get a slam off, that is going to be Malthea falling behind us, as we also see the White Mane going to be falling. Planet Cracker comes out as they push them right into the corner, and with a 100% Zerg wave roughly, oh, it's 75%, with the only Murden left, I wonder... I don't think this is going to be any sort of... defense they're able to do, as it looks like we do have McNulty getting chased by Time. They're looking to get that extra kill, buff up their stats, but I think at this point, with the core being assailed this hard, it is going to be the members of FWC Esports, or excuse me, the members of Trademark Gaming taking a 2-0, and that is going to be GG. Well played. Alrighty. Hello. That was awesome. All right. Cool. So we are done with our replays. So I'm going to quickly go make a cup of tea, and then let's play some games. So I'm going to... Yeah, we're just going to do... All right. Cool. I'm going to do that really quickly. I'm going to throw it over to Bandit Cam, and I'll be right back, everybody.